The United States emerged as a dominant global superpower after World War II, a status cemented by its military might, economic strength, and cultural influence. This rise was neither accidental nor sudden, but the result of strategic decisions, historical circumstances, and the fallout of the war. This script will explore the factors that contributed to America's rise, including its wartime advantages, geopolitical strategies, economic policies, and ideological appeal. 1. The U.S. before World War II. The U.S. was already a significant industrial and economic power by the 1920s, but followed an isolationist foreign policy. The Great Depression, 1929 to 1939, weakened its global influence, focusing its efforts inward. Despite isolationism, the U.S. maintained a strong industrial base and vast natural resources. Shifting toward involvement events like Japan's invasion of China, 1937, and Germany's aggression in Europe highlighted the limits of isolationism. The Lend-Lease Act, 1941, marked a turning point, allowing the U.S. to aid allies without direct involvement, preparing the nation for eventual entry into the war. 2. The impact of World War II. Economic boom. During the war, World War II turned the U.S. into the arsenal of democracy, supplying weapons, vehicles, and supplies to allies. Wartime industries, such as aircraft and shipbuilding, expanded rapidly, revitalizing the economy. By the end of the war, the U.S. produced 50% of the world's manufacturing output. Military superiority. The U.S. invested heavily in military innovation, leading to technological breakthroughs like radar, the Manhattan Project, an atomic bomb, and advanced aircraft. Victory in both the European and Pacific theaters showcased American military strength. Geopolitical advantage. Unlike Europe and Asia, the U.S. homeland was untouched by war, leaving its infrastructure intact. Other major powers, Germany, Japan, the Soviet Union, and the UK, faced devastation, giving the U.S. an unmatched advantage. 3. The birth of the bipolar world. The Cold War and the Soviet rivalry. After the war, the world became divided between two ideologies: capitalism, led by the U.S., and communism, led by the USSR. The U.S. adopted a containment strategy to limit Soviet expansion, starting with the Truman Doctrine, 1947. Formation of alliances. The U.S. led the creation of NATO, 1949, uniting Western nations against Soviet aggression. Through the Marshall Plan, 1948, the U.S. provided $13 billion to rebuild Western Europe, strengthening its allies and curbing communism. 4th, economic foundations of superpower status. The Bretton Woods system. The U.S. spearheaded the Bretton Woods Conference, 1944, establishing the dollar as the world's reserve currency. Institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and World Bank were created, with the U.S. holding significant influence. Rise of American multinational corporations. Companies like General Motors, Ford, and IBM expanded globally, spreading American influence. Hollywood, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's became cultural ambassadors of the American way of life. 5. Technological leadership. The space race. The launch of Sputnik by the USSR, 1957, spurred the U.S. to invest heavily in space exploration. NASA was established, leading to the Apollo program and the moon landing in 1969, a symbolic victory in the Cold War. Military technology, continued innovation in nuclear weapons, missiles, and defense systems ensured U.S. military dominance. The development of the Internet, initially a military project, showcased American technological leadership. 6. Cultural influence and soft power. Hollywood and entertainment. American movies, music, and television became global phenomena, spreading Western values and ideals. Stars like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley symbolized American culture. Education and research. American universities like Harvard, MIT, and Stanford attracted the world's brightest minds, reinforcing U.S. intellectual leadership. The Fulbright program and other initiatives promoted cultural exchange and goodwill. The American Dream. The concept of the American dream, freedom, opportunity, and prosperity, resonated worldwide, attracting immigrants and fostering admiration. 7. Challenges and adjustments. The Vietnam War and public sentiment. The U.S. faced setbacks like the Vietnam War, 1955 to 1975, which challenged its global image. Domestic issues, including civil rights struggles and economic inequality, revealed vulnerabilities. The oil crisis and economic competition. The 1970s oil crisis exposed dependence on foreign energy, leading to economic challenges. Japan and Germany emerged as economic competitors, requiring adjustments in U.S. policies. 8th, maintaining superpower status. Reagan's policies. The Reagan administration, 1981 to 1989, increased defense spending, modernized the military, and intensified Cold War competition. Initiatives like the Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, pressured the USSR economically. The end of the Cold War, the fall of the Berlin Wall, 1989, and the dissolution of the Soviet Union, 1991, marked the end of the Cold War, leaving the U.S. as the sole superpower. Conclusion. The U.S. ascended to superpower status through a combination of military strength, economic dominance, technological innovation, and cultural influence. While the road to power was not without challenges, America's resilience and adaptability ensured its continued leadership. As the world evolves, the U.S. remains a central player on the global stage, navigating new challenges while maintaining its legacy as a superpower.